point, we will now call on a very accomplished lady who had just been appointed as an executive member of the National Innovation Council of NEDA, or the National Economic and Development Authority. Let me read her bio note. Dr. Ria Lisa C. Canlas is a registered civil engineer, accredited materials engineer 1, and certified patent agent. She is an award-winning scientist, inventor, engineer, academician, patent professional, entrepreneur, science communicator, tagged as the feminine genius ASEAN designer and woman in science. She was awarded by the Commission on Higher Education with a prestigious grant to conduct data-driven research on mapping of emerging industries for Philippines and RD competitiveness in relation to our ASEAN neighbors. Her project led to R&D cooperation among the top universities in ASEAN. In civil engineering and material science, she is a lead advocate of green construction. She is the CEO, founder, inventor of the Polite Technology Incorporated that commercialized Polite. A certain example of how scientific inventor of Polite Technology Incorporated that commercialized Polite. Her product, which was seeded by the Department of Science and Technology, has been lauded as socially impactful as it utilizes indigenous raw materials. Her inventions made her won national awards such as the Gold and Grand Prix Malasakit Good Design Award in 2019, given by the Design National Awards Center, given by Design Center Philippines and the Department of Trade and Industry. Grand winner in the professional category of the Alfredo M. Yao Intellectual Property Award in 2020 by the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines and the Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Second place for the Regional Invention Contest and the exhibits in the DOST National Capital Region under the LICA Award 2021 for Outstanding Government-Funded Creative Research. She is the founder of the Southeast Asia Emerging Industries Consortium, founder, president of Finite Element Institute of the Philippines, or FEIP, vice president of the Researchers, Inventors, Scientists, and Engineers of the Philippines, or RISE, National Auditor of Philippine Association of University Women, or PAW, or PAUW, among others. She is the director of the Center for Innovation of National University Philippines, and now appointed by the President of the Philippines as executive member of the National Innovation Council, or NIC, representative of the scientific community. Ladies and gentlemen, tayo po tayong lahat, and let us all welcome Dr. Ria Lisa Centeno Canlas.
Please sit down. Ang hirap maging artista. Alright, so my journey was really very overwhelming. Why am I here right now? It started in 2019. This was the public hearing when the government wants to push for the Philippine Innovation Act. And there were this group of inventors. I saw Sir Jude Catan, I saw Sir Archie, and some of the guys. But several years ago, I really wanted to be part of the inventors. It's just that I don't know where to find them. So apparently in that in that event of the IRR, public hearing, I raised my point. So I stand up and raise my point to everyone that tech or technology is not only about AI, Internet of Things, or machine learning. The brick and mortar business should also be part of the technology. And thus, the attorney or the lawyer of Sani Angara, yung Tatak Pinoy, mentioned on the mic that, yes, I agree with the lady in red. And I think because of that, Sir Archie Milano caught the attention and he persuaded me to be part of the so-called Inventors Group. And that public hearing, the Philippine Innovation Act, is now known as the Republic Act 11293, and this was signed as a law by President Duterte last April of 2019, and this is when I am now destined to be serendipity to become one of the executive members of the National Innovation Council representing the scientific community. I could have not been here if because of the trust that was given to me by my fellow inventors, which I've known from 2019. And thus, as I tell you guys, I will always use all my experiences, specifically being a startup. A startup is the same as the bloodline of the inventors. I will definitely be bringing on the table with the President of the Philippines all the kinds of challenges that the inventors are now facing right now. And we're starting the discussion. This morning, I swear the oath in front of the President. Right after immediately that very short oath taking is the first meeting that I have attended. And this meeting, this council, is composed of 25 members, where the President of the Philippines is the President, the Secretary of NEDA as the Vice Chair, consists of 16 secretaries plus 7 executive members. And thus, I am, or my voice, is co-equal of that of a secretary. So therefore, guys, in this meeting alone, I have to tell you that the President is very serious about personally heading this Innovation Council, because innovation is the only way that we can reach inclusive economic development. The NIC is the highest governing body on policy on innovation, on top of all the government agencies that we have. We are mentioning about DTI, DOST, DA, DENR, including Vice President Sara Duterte is also part of the council. We are supposed to harmonize all the segregated initiatives of various organizations and institutions in the Philippines. The NIC will set the direction. We call it the NIASD, the National Innovation Agenda Direction. And apart from that, the NIC is tasked to manage, to administer the so-called Innovation Fund. And for the last 2 years, since it was instituted, the fund is only for government institutions. That's why DOST Kaisar, my friend, is telling us that DOST themselves are asking funds from NEDA. But we will push and we will move that in the coming years, funding of NEDA, the so-called Innovation Fund, must be readily available to all MSMEs. And I would like to end or to finish my talk by simply reading the vision statement that bring me on top of the hierarchy of all the nominees in the Philippines. I am proudly saying that we, 2 women, one as the Vice President of the Academic Affairs of UP, and me from Mapua Tsinghua University topped the ranking. Well, that's by law, one of the NIC executive member must be a woman. And NEDA doesn't have any problems at all because the women top over the men. Okay. So, I just would like to read this verbatim because in the next 3 years, and I hope that I can still have another 3 years, it depends. No? The maximum seat for an NIC is 6 years. But I do hope that I can really have that 6 years, and I have contemplated what I wanted to happen as an NIC. So reading my vision statement, considering my personal journey as an award-winning scientist, inventor, engineer, academician, patent professional, entrepreneur, science communicator, as stuck as the feminine genius ASEAN designer, and a woman in science, with 30 years of experience that paved the way for me to be considered as one of the country's faces of innovation and a brave tech startup founder. I have the very raw experience in knowing the needs of those in the innovation space. In the academia, notable challenges are schools to unlikely invest in startup structures and resources, including a scarce innovation mindset of the mentors. This resulted into a so-called teaching employee mindset concept. There is the difficulty of the scientists to cross over the border from the laboratories to entrepreneurship, and the lack of collaboration and intellectual property knowledge that resulted into most of the projects just kept inside the library. On the other hand, there are the Filipino inventors from about 20 organizations nationwide with only about 2,000 members who are considered to be rare species. And thus, there is a need for us to populate the kinds of our breeds. Maybe the inventors are minority in numbers, but they are catalysts for technological advancement. Thus, there is a need for the representation in the NIC to breed and to populate the inventors. Their obstacle is also mainly on R&D partnerships and funds. Worsening the situation is the inferior branding of the Filipino invented products due to non-adoption of the local market or industry sector. Ayaw nila ng tatak Pilipino. When it comes to funding, the process is complex and long. It took me a year to get my fund from the OST. And this is highly competitive because there are only limited grant allocation. Therefore, my agenda prioritizes economic progress that will leverage intersectoral engagement through science and technology, engineering, assimilation of the creatives, culture, and the arts. And to achieve this, I will enhance the science technology agenda to build a sustainable startup ecosystem. I believe that Filipino scientists, inventors, or even students of STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics are inherently innovative and inventive. However, for our country to capitalize on our people's creative and potential, we will need to enhance our programs to support commercialization of our output, engender entrepreneurial mindset, implement data-driven approaches, development. With these three strategic points, I will push that we will soon be to herald the first real Filipino unicorn. A Filipino unicorn is a startup venture with $1 billion valuation. This will be a contribution for economic recovery through research, innovation, and commercialization. And some of the initiatives are my priorities. These are my priorities. Number one, enticing incentive program for the scientists, entrepreneurs, industry adopters, and universities. Create an investors marketplace so that everyone has equal opportunity to funding. Easy access to funders to provide protection to scientists against capitalism. Craft the simplest grant endowment process, ease of doing business, and accreditation processes for new technologies. Review and impose the Procurement Act on the exemption from bidding of any projects using Filipino inventions. Require banks to accept intellectual properties as collateral. Furthermore, create a law that mandates corporate entrepreneurship responsibility or CER. This is where big companies support startups, big supporting the small, supporting the inventors group and universities to propel innovation, plus the big role of the local government units. This is the Units Investment and Promotion Center of each of our LGUs to work with the universities and with the inventors organizations to have priority investment allocations, provide innovation hub, and collect data to track emerging industries. And definitely, the fight, the voice is here. Let's take this to our advantage. And of course, I will start the change from the people nearest to me. And these are the people, the inventors, and the scientists, and the academic community. So thank you very much, everyone.
Once again, let's give that to the woman of the hour, Dr. Ria Lisa Centeno Canlas. Hawakan muna natin yung mga baso natin. Let's toast to the success of Dr. Ria. So tayo po tayong lahat. Dr. Ria, bottoms up daw po. With that, let's cheers! 1, 2, 3, cheers! Congratulations, Dr. Ria. Palapakan naman po natin si Dr. Ria. Ayan, maraming salamat po. Ayan, so once again, congratulations to